How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is RuffledRowlit. Welcome to a brand new Pokemon leaks and rumor video. We got loads to talk about. First things first, Riddler Coup. For those of you guys who do not know this guy, he's a legitimate Pokemon leaker, but he's made about 5 or 6 posts in the last few days, and all of them are giving us very big information. The first one here is seemingly hinting at the remaining I guess raids that are going to be happening, like the remaining 7-star raids that are going to be happening in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that being an Electric one, Ground one, Dark, and Steel one, which seems to be the case here. But that's not all. He also posted this image right here, hinting at something to do with Terrapagos, or the little baby Terrapagos here, as well as this one. Now, this is the big one, because he included an image of the regions of Unova and whatnot, and it's a little bit of a strange post. We're going to go deeper into that one, but I just want to quickly go through all these. He talked a bit about the characters, which was random, because shortly after he did this, we got the announcement that the guys from, I guess these guys, I forget their name, literally, geez, I literally forgot their name, but either way, I want to say Herbert for some reason. But either way, these guys are going to be showing up, or this character is going to be showing up in Pokemon Masters, which is a mobile game, and it seems to be hinting at Black and White in a weird way. But either way, that's one of the things. We also have him hinting at Ilka, the company that made Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, seemingly working on a new game. That's what he's hinting with this. But we're going to go through all of these one by one and break them all down. And we also have a bunch of theories from other people, so it's going to be a long video. Grab yourself a beverage. I'm going to slow down and speak slowly now. First things first. He posted this image saying Electric, Ground, Dark, Steel with a Mightiest mark. Now, these are the marks you get if you complete like a 7-star raid in a Pokemon. And basically, this seems to be hinting at the typings of the last 4 raids that are going to be happening for Scarlet and Violet, because they've been doing these all the time. You guys have probably seen them. They've done, Typhlosion, Samurott, Mewtwo, Decidueye, Delphox, just Inteleon, all of them. They've been doing all of these guys. So the question is, what are the remaining ones? Well, these could be the upcoming ones, right? Electric, Ground, Dark, Steel. At least that's what it feels like he's hinting here. So these typings could be hinting at what Pokemon are going to be getting them as well. As to what Pokemon that will be, it's kind of hard to guess. I haven't really seen anybody say exactly what, but here you have a guess from Lord Dio here, who says Drayton, so Electric, so maybe Archaludon because it's a signature move, Lacy, Ground, Clay Connection, Amaris, Dark, and Crispin, Steel. So those are the 4 new Elite 4 members in the brand new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC 2, the Indigo disc. Those are the main characters. So is it possible that these new 7-star raids will also connect to their typings as a way to kind of hint back to them, or be like, hey, to celebrate these characters in this DLC, we're going to be doing these special raids with these typings of Pokemon for the raids, to kind of do a little on the cheek kind of hint towards it. At least that's the feeling I'm getting from this based on what I can see. There are a few other theories, but that seems like the coolest one to me, at least from Lord D of the Coast here, or Stoker090201 on Twitter. Moving on though, this was just one of the posts. The next one is this one. So here he says 2 to the power of plus, and there is just I was just totally lost on this. But even Jan here said, I totally don't understand this post. It would be nice if there was a hint about how to decipher this one. And he just says math. It's literally just math. And I think what this actually is hinting, this little post right here, is the Pokédex number of this guy. I think that's what this is being hinting at right here. I think somebody did make a post on it. I think right here you guys can see Osis Games actually made a whole post on this. I'm actually going to get Osis a follow back here. But basically they said that I think that Ku means here is the power of the symbol. The plus sign is what we're looking for. Something to do with Sudachi has to do with adding, so I guess addition. But here you can see Kai here, I'm going to give a Kai follow as well, said the plus sign just looks like, I guess, a cross, or Japanese kanji or Chinese hanzi for 10. So the plus, or big plus, which is 10, 2 to the power of 10 is 1024. So basically, if 1017 is Ogerpon, right? Then 1018 is Diplin, Archaludon, Raging Bolt, Paradox Entei, Iron Crown, Paradox Terrakion, and then Terrapagos is that one. So that's actually a really good way to break it down. And you can see here, for whatever reason, I completely forgot about kanji. Didn't even cross my mind. It's always good to think about the direction, considering Ku is indeed Chinese. So yeah, good point to keep that in mind. But yes, it seems like what he's hinting here with this post is literally just the Pokédex number of this Pokemon, like which number it's going to be in the Pokédex, which is a random piece of information. I don't really know if anybody really doubted it was going to be the last one in the Pokédex, but hey, now we know that, I guess, just a random piece of information. Either way, moving on to the next thing though, we're going to be jumping over to this post. Now this is the big one. This is the one that's got me confused. So first things first, right? What is this image? Well, it seems to show multiple different regions. On one image here, it seems to show Kanto. How do we know this is Kanto? Well, we've got like the cycling road in the middle here. We've got like down here, geez, I forget, like the safari zone and whatnot. Up here we got Saffron. We got Cerulean. We've got Celadon. We've got Pewter City. All of that's here. So that's Kanto, which is a bit stressful. Then you have what seems to be Johto, right? You got Goldenrod, you've got like, you got like, I think up here, like Ekritik or whatever. Basically, you've got Johto here. The next image is Unova. As far as I'm aware, this is Unova. And then finally, the Scarlet and Violet Academy, Naranja and Uva Academy, which is a little bit random because he said 2024 prediction. So is he either like trying to mess with us? Is he trying to like mess with us here, or is he trying to joke with us? But it seems like it's a genuine hint. And here he also responded saying, wow, found the clue. All titles entitled with colors. Okay, so I don't know if he's trying to make a joke here that all these games are named after a color. So, I guess Pokemon Red, Blue, Green, Yellow. Pokemon, well, yeah, Gold, Silver. Would that be considered a color? I guess you kind of would. I mean, it is also, I guess, Gold, Silver would be also like I don't know if an element's the right way to put it, but they are like, metals. And then, of course, you had Unova, which is black and white, so that makes sense. Scarlet and Violet, yes, they also are colors. But I don't know what's happening, man. You see some people, like, absolutely here saying, Johto, let's go. So maybe just he's hinting at, like, it being a Johto game. But this all is really weird, because he's mentioning both Kanto, Johto, Unova, and Scarlet and Violet here. So, the way I view this is in one of many ways, right? Is he trying to tell us here that next year we're going to get a Let's Go Johto game, not Let's Go Johto game, but a Johto game. Because if it's a Johto game, then Kanto is included by proxy. Every Johto game ever made, which there are only like 5 of them, so Gold, Silver, Crystal, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and that's it. You got 5 games of Johto, and every single one of them has always included Kanto. You almost cannot make a Johto game without just including Kanto with it, because Johto in itself has content, but just not enough, I guess, to supplement it, because, I mean, it did suffer from the fact that they were afraid when they made Johto that it was going to be, like, not interesting enough and the Pokemon was going to die, so they didn't think a sequel was going to do well, hence why they included Kanto to make sure to give people, like, a reason to, like, keep playing. So, I don't really know if Johto on its own would be enough here, and I think Kanto is always going to be included with it. It's like, they're literally sister regions, like, they're going to be included together in a Johto game. So that makes sense. These two being included makes sense. This is not a Kanto remake, it's a Johto remake, and Kanto always gets included. Then we have Unova, right? And this is where I'm getting a bit confused now, because the way you look at these images, the top 2 images are the 2 regions that are connected, right? Kanto and Johto. But what about Unova and Paldea? Is it possible that what he's trying to say here is that Unova and Paldea are connected in a similar way? And if we get a black and white game next year, it's going to be connected directly to Scarlet and Violet. So it may not be like a regular game, or well, of course, we're not going to get Scarlet and Violet included in it, but we're getting a lot of Scarlet and Violet influence in there, if that makes any sense. Because if you think about it, the next DLC, the Blueberry Academy, the Indigo disc, is literally going to take place in Unova. Like, it's been confirmed that the Blueberry Academy is located within Unova. So is this what he's trying to tell us right here? Now, if we scroll down, a lot of people have a lot of different thoughts. I only want this, please. So you've got, like, Johto, for the most part, just here. You got some other posts. If Unova, it's probably a sequel game, though a Legends game set in past or future would be sick. If it's Johto, then it's Let's Go Maryland Togepi. If it's Paldea again, Pokemon Stadium 3, Academy Ace. Don't know if that's the case. If Kanto, they won't do another Kanto game this soon. I think it's all of these. I don't think him including Scarlet and Violet means that it's going to be a Scarlet and Violet game next year, but rather references, connections, direct, like, connection between Scarlet and Violet and whatever this new game is going to be. Whatever this Unova game is, it might be directly incorporated within the story of, like, Scarlet and Violet. It might be directly connected and have the same art style and same concept, but it won't be set in the same time frame. And it might be an alternate world of it. So yeah, it's a little bit weird. Not really sure what to do with this. I haven't really seen a lot of people that know exactly what's going to happen, but here is an answer from Electric Blast Luigi, who says, Gen 2 remakes, so we're going back to Kanto and Johto. That makes sense. That's what I said too. Gen 5 gets a new game with Gen 9 references sprinkled in. Exactly what I said. Similar to Gen 9, sprinkling in Gen 5 references, Blueberry Academy, exactly. And Gen 4 Legends Arceus added a bunch of references for Gens 2 and 5, which is true. It did do that. To be 100% fair, it did do that. In Legends Arceus, we had references to both Johto and Unova. In the DLC now, the current DLC, Kitakami and Indigo Disc, we've had references to both Johto and Unova. So is next year going to be the crazy year where we get 2 Pokemon games again? And this time, it'll be 2 remakes or 2 games set in old regions that we've already been to. It's going to be weird, man. I'm curious where they can go with this, but nonetheless, though, I wanted to bring this up because it is just a very strange post. It doesn't fit in with what he normally does, so I'm a little intrigued by this. Moving on, he posted this image of all the different characters we've had throughout the generations. Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5, Gen 6, Gen 7, Gen 8. I guess you would include all these guys in 8, even Legends Arceus, and then Gen 9, of course, right? All the different male characters, and he asked who is the best, right? Interestingly, though, Mandem from Gen 5 here actually got himself a new character. You guys can see right here. He was introduced in, let's just see if we can find the photo. Here, you guys can see, both of them were added. So I forget their freaking names, Hilda and whatever his name is. Always forget them, but they were both added into Pokemon Masters. That's a mobile Pokemon game that features all the Pokemon characters, but they were introduced with new outfits. And these outfits are interesting because these outfits seem to mimic or at least look similar to the outfits that they have on during the movie, like Pokemon Film Star Studios. Like it's like a side thing you can do in Black and White and Black and White 2, I think, where basically you just go to a film studio and you record like little movies and stuff and you wear different uniforms. Well, interestingly, these outfits remind me of that. And the fact that they're wearing basically like a knight's outfit, or like, you know, kind of like a I don't even know what the right word would be, like a kind of a medieval outfit or Renaissance outfit, so to say, like a prince and a princess type outfit, makes me wonder, is this the kind of style we could expect for the next Pokemon game? Like, what if they did a Unova that's set in like a Renaissance time period? Like if we take Legends Arceus feels very primal in a sense, right? It feels like its time period is kind of hard to set exactly. Some say it's like Edo period, Japan, stuff like that. It's like kind of hard to pinpoint exactly what time period it is exactly within, or what they try to kind of go for, but you can kind of see the influences. How about if they do a Unova game? It's also set in the past, but in a kind of different sort of past that's a little bit like further ahead, maybe more like, I don't know, Renaissance in a sense, or you know, like, I don't know, just like a different time frame. It's kind of what I'm getting from this. Or this could just be him being very excited about these characters being added in. Nonetheless, though, let's move on to the big one. And it's this one right here. And sweet mother of God, I'm terrified to look at this. The cat, Ilka, is working on a new game. The duck, ... The crocodile, out of the picture. We've got to be joking. So, ladies and gentlemen, this seems like RuffledRowlit here is telling us that Ilka, and if you don't know who Ilka are, they're the company who made Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. They're the company who are behind it. Well, he seemingly here is hinting that they're going to be working on another Pokemon game. And I'm going to be real with you, I think I know what game that would be. I'm pretty sure that game would be Pokemon Johto remakes. I'm just going to be real. I think that if Ilka is working on a game, and that's at least what he's telling us right here, I'm super sure that that's what he's trying to say here, that Ilka is working on a brand new Pokemon game. And if that is true, I am terrified of how that's going to go. A lot of people genuinely hate BDSP. I think a lot of people's least favorite game is BDSP. And I think a lot of people are scared and worried as to what they will do. If you think about it, it also would make kind of sense, because if you look at like which game Ilka made, it was the remakes of Diamond and Pearl. And in Diamond and Pearl's original generation, which games were remade back then? Well, it was Johto. And Johto was remade in the same art style as Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. So is it possible that they're going to remake Heart Gold Soul Silver in the same art style as Diamond and Pearl, which is what Heart Gold Soul Silver already looked like? Now, personally, I just want to see Johto in 3D. I'm going to be real with you all. I just want to see Johto in 3D, but I do not want them to go for that tiny weird chibi style again. Like, please just make it look at least like I know people hate Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I don't hate Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. I just think the gameplay suffered and the lack of really anything to do in the post-game and the lack of certain, like, basically here are the 3 issues with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. The lack of Pokemon, the lack of stuff to do, and the catching mechanic, because you were forced to throw Pokeballs all the time. And it's fun once in a while, but if you're forced to do that all the time, it gets very tedious. Please, just use the good stuff from Let's Go Pikachu, like the art style. I think Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee actually look amazing in terms of art style. I know some people might disagree with that, but I think that they personally just look bloody fantastic, okay? I just think they look freaking awesome. So, I'm simply going to say this. Please, if this is true, and this is what I'm getting the gist of from this actual post, is that we're going to get some form of freaking remakes, okay? That are going to be made by Ilka and most likely Johto games. But please make them look like Let's Go Pikachu Eevee at least, and don't make them look like BDSP, because the art style was just not my thing. But either way, that's at least what we get from this guy. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, and you know, the thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Like, what do you guys think this is? Do you think it's him telling us, is he messing with us? I don't think so, because he doesn't really put out posts where he messes with us. If he's trying to genuinely, like, you know, he usually gives genuine information, but it's just kind of hidden underneath a blanket of sarcasm. But nonetheless, though, if he's being serious, is it either A, we're going to get a Ilka remake of Johto, or is it B, we're going to get a Unova game made by Ilka? Which one of those two is it? Because I don't know what else is. Option 3, whatever you guys can invent in your head. Let me know in the comment section down below, because I genuinely do not know. I am very much lost on this. And you can see, right, people are saying down here is that, you know, like, I don't know what Dusty's talking about, though. He says the game is not Ilka. Well, again, he says the new game, but yeah, there could be more than one game, though, so that's not true. And then Luminous just cool, please no, which I think most people feel like that. As long as Ilka isn't working on a mainline Pokemon game, I'm fine with that. But that's the thing. What are they working on, right? Because he didn't say here, Ilka's working on a new game. But yeah, that's the question. Are they working on a Pokemon game? Are they working on a non-Pokemon game? What is it that they're up to, right? Is this got, like, so I guess is it option A? Are they remaking Johto? Is it option B? Are they working on mainline, you know, Pokemon Black and White? Or is it option 3? They're not making a Pokemon game at all, and they're just making their own product, which, to be fair, though, if we look up Ilka, the actual company, if we just look up the actual company itself, you guys can see what they're actually up to for the most part. So if you go over to Ilka, Nintendo fandom, so they have worked on, this is the gameography of what they've been doing. So Crimson Shroud, which is a movie production, Mario Kart 8 ad, so that's just an ad, Nier Automata trailer production, Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest Echoes of Elusive Age. That's an interesting one. So I don't think they were the actual developers of the game. I think they were just one of the people involved helping on the games. I don't think they actually made the full product themselves. They worked on Code Vein, or they were the ones who make Code Vein. They're also the ones who work on Pokemon Home, Voice of Cards, Idolmaster Starlit Season, oh boy, and Diamond and Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. I think were probably their biggest projects besides Code Vein. Because if we look up Code Vein, who actually made the full product? Because I don't think, again, it's pretty much Bandai Namco. So I think the thing with Ilka is they're kind of like a backup studio. Like, that's kind of their thing, is like they just kind of exist there to help out other studios. They were made like a long time ago. Like, they were actually made in 2010, so they're not that old. They have studios in Kyoto and whatnot. And basically the thing with them is that they've just worked on a lot of, I guess, CG stuff, like a lot of trailers and stuff like that. But their biggest kind of claim to fame was making Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. Like, the games, like, you know, the games were seen in a certain way. People kind of both loved and hated Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Some people loved them, some people hated them. But that's the thing. A lot of people were not happy with, like, the lack of features in this game. I don't think Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl is total ass. I think it's ass, but it's not total. It's got, like, some tiny slivers of hope in there. But either way, what do you guys think about this? Do you think they're working on a Johto game, Unova game, or nothing Pokemon related? Nonetheless, I would love to know what you guys think about this. And let's move on to the next thing. So, I think we've gone through most of the posts by Ku himself. Now we're going to dive into one thing that was posted recently. So this was a post made by someone. I don't know exactly where this came from, but they say that they are an employee of the Pokemon Company Incorporated. So here's what they said, basically. And I think this post was most people said that no, they don't think it's true, but I still think it's worthwhile going through it. But here's what he said. Hello, I'm an employee of the Pokemon Company Incorporated. My coworkers and I work on writing up and publishing the English and Spanish articles for updating the website, as well as the various rule sets for both official singles and doubles ladder, and the official VGC rules, as well as any online competitions. To a certain extent, it is also to prepare some of us that are VGC judges so that they know what new stuff does in advance. We get an earlier look at new Pokemon, items, moves, and abilities. I don't personally know many names for things other than in English though. Many old Pokemon are returning, as well as a few Pokemon being introduced for the first time. In total, there are 242 entries in the Blueberry Academy Pokédex, with a Master Pokédex with 744 entries that going forward will be used to outline what Pokemon are or aren't legal at times. This Master Pokédex includes every single species and form in Scarlet and Violet. I assume this is done to bring back the feel of a national dex. Okay, and to better communicate Pokemon that aren't in any other Scarlet and Violet Pokédex otherwise. I will use existing National Dex Pokédex entries throughout this update article, as it's what everyone knows. Continuing on. Firstly, let's start off with the new Pokemon. And then he has the following list. Arcaludon, Steel Dragon, Hydrapple, okay, Hydrapple, okay, which is a bug dragon. So that will be the evolution of Diplin, which we know is going to happen nonetheless. Raging Bolt, Electric Dragon, Storming Ash, Fire Dragon, okay. And then I guess he has the names in Spanish here. Iron Crown, Iron Tines, Terrapagos, and Doku Momo. So Momotaro, Doku, I guess that's like the poison Pokemon we've spoken about before. Their stats and abilities will be included at the end since this takes up a lot of space. There are also 2 new Terrastall states, like Terrapagos, but for Koraidon, Miraidon. So Koraidon, Jewel/Flying, Miraidon, Jewel/Steel. So Jewel has got to be that 19th Terra type, right? That's what I'm guessing it is. As far as I can tell, there are the only Terrastall states there are, and they can act as purely Flying or Steel types, respectively. This is probably a reference to their Paradox names, Winged King and Iron Serpent, which are the names for these forms. They keep their original abilities. Moving on, let's touch base on the 19th Terra type next, as it's important and certain moves rely on it. We actually know the localized name in every European language, as it was supposed to be revealed along with the type itself during the world's presentation at first. So it's Jewel Terra type, Jewel, literally world Jewel. And then type Terra Cristal Arc-en-Ciel in French. I can't read that. And then German, it's Cristalliner Terra type, and then Terra Tipo Cristalino, and Terra Tipo Cristalino again in Spanish. It is effectively typeless as an actual type. That is bizarre. Terrestrializing into it will boost everything else, but the exact value is unknown. But Jewel will also gain Stab. Jewel is only weak to and strong against Jewel. That is... okay. Well, that's interesting, huh? That's going to be very strange. But yeah, so this post was made, and a lot of people are kind of at odds about if it's real or not. A lot of people are not sure, like, is this real? Is it fake? I don't know. Let's fight. But I just thought we would read it, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. Personally, I don't know what to feel. It feels realistic the way the guy's written it and everything, but at the same time, the name, though, like the actual name being Jewel, if that's what it's going to be called, unless that's just what he calls it for now, I don't know. It is very strange, but we're going to have to wait and see what develops from that. For now, though, let's jump over to some of the posts that have been made about this. I think Jan is one of the people that's actually made a post about this, and also made a post about the full list, because this thing wasn't just made in a singular list, like in a singular post. I think this whole thing was kind of spread through multiple posts. Like there was multiple things included. And I think Jan had a few things to say. So you guys can see here, it's like the list of, I guess, the other Pokemon that were supposed to be included. You can just take a look at this list right here. So it says here what's going to be in there. Some new Pokemon as well as stuff like that. You got Ponyard, Bisharp, Samurroyal, Cretalis, Cryovern, Paleloias. I mean, these names are just crazy. I'm guessing it's just like a direct translation of another language, which is just a bit weird. But here's what Jan has to say. I haven't seen a single fake Pokédex name list that got the 4S in the correct Chinese names. Really, really try harder to make up names, okay? The pinyin of the 4S are Yuyu, Dinglu, Jianbao, and Jianwu. Please contact me if you have trouble making up these names. But basically, this is... I'm not sure if this is the same post, because this post, like, these posts, they're all just kind of all over the place lately. It's been a bit of a shit show. I'm gonna put it bluntly. It's been a bit of a mess trying to understand all of this, because there's been separate paste bins that I've seen. The one I'm covering here, this was made by somebody over literally on Pastebin. It's just posted there. And I think Dusty Gogo had actually shared this post. I think if we just find his post about it, we can kind of like understand it a bit better, because I think he made a... I think he posted about it at some point here, actually. So he basically just said new Indigo Disc Pokemon. This was the thread. So it's a little bit weird. I don't really know if this one's real, and I don't know if this one connects back to this post, but like it's a bit odd, okay? Here you can see what Jan has to say. Remind everyone, Koraidon fan, Miraidon fan, and Ungabugus were once a thing a lot of people believed. Please don't fall for these fake leaks. They're definitely going to keep popping up frequently in the near future. So yeah, I guess what's happening here is that I've kind of confused two posts. But no, this original post here is an old one from 2022. And I think what's trying to be said here is that the names we're seeing in the Pastebin, the Pastebin I just covered, could be like BS, right? Like that it could be BS based on that. At least that's what I'm getting out of this. Either way, moving on to the next thing. So we have a bunch of posts from Soul Silver, who has a bunch of stuff to say, a bunch of thoughts, because there was a post made recently, or rather multiple posts from the official Pokemon company, because they give access to content creators to play and preview the Indigo Disc. So some of the stuff that he actually discovered are pretty interesting. I'm going to start with this post first, because this is just multiple small things all at once. And then we're going to go through this big post right here, which has a lot more to say about the story. First things first though, a few important things I missed and forgot from today's Indigo Disc previews. 1. A battle with Carmen right towards the beginning of DLC 2, and her team is much harder, so you're going to be able to battle her at the beginning, so her team's going to be much stronger. 2. One of the players/previewers was told by a Nintendo rep that we will go back to Paldea and Area Zero after we complete the Blueberry Academy part of the DLC. Made it seem more like post-game or after beating the main Blueberry Academy plot. So that's kind of something I've already been saying now for months, because they already confirmed that in a trailer a long time ago. 3. Starter Pokemon are either very rare or they're not available right away, and instead we need to maybe complete a specific task/pass a certain point for them to actually become available in the wild in a terrarium, right? Which makes sense. And then down here, some other people have some other thoughts. Like, for example, remember that Nintendo America kind of leaked, not sure how do we get starters to spawn in the terrarium. Either we have to complete all missions to get them, or clear specific missions for each one or each gen. I forgot what was the fan consensus, though. Yeah, basically, they made a post here a while back saying, in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Part 2 Indigo Disc, the first partner Pokemon from past titles are appearing in the terrarium housed within the Blueberry Academy. You have to clear missions given to you by the school, and you'll get the chance to meet your first partner Pokemon as they live in the wild. So I guess maybe we're gonna have to do some missions to unlock the starters. We'll have to wait and see. The other post that he actually made is this post right here. Well, no trailer, but previews. 1, almost every battle is a double battle, mixed type teams with competitive-like strategies. Personally, I hate that part. I hate double battles. 2, if we're lucky, maybe there'll be just one new Pokemon in the wild, but it's 99% returning Pokemon. So yeah, not a lot of new stuff. 3, the terrarium looks decently sized for a DLC, plus quests going back to Kitakami and Area Zero, so we're going to be returning. 4, there are 4 different biomes. The Dragon Palace, 4 Seasons, terrarium split into coastal, savanna, canyon, and polar biomes. 5, no new Nurse Joy this time. So yeah, we know that there's going to be machines to heal on. No new Nurse Joy, which is fine. 6, Lacey gives us some lore about how the terrarium works. An underwater dome with fake projections of time passing and the sky, and has a mysterious globe at the top that makes Terrastall possible here, but Serrano can't remember. What's it made out of? Giving us some Heath vibes, right? Because Heath is a character that forgot how he found certain, like, what he wrote in his book down in Area Zero. But that's not all. We have this massive post right here from Soul about that kind of. We know from yesterday's Indigo previews that there's a Terra Disco Ball disc that allows Terrastall at the top of the terrarium, and Serrano doesn't remember what it's made of. We also know the Blueberry Academy is Serrano's passion project and dream. Could the terrarium be Serrano's dream made into reality after he came into contact with the treasure of Area Zero, aka Terrapagos or these special Terra Crystals? 2, this would be just like the theory that the professor dreamt of a time machine and it became a reality, or that they used Heath's phantom memory to build the time machine. Maybe Serrano used the treasure purposely or even unknowingly, and when this happened he went unconscious, just like Heath, and doesn't remember what happened. Then he woke up with IDs written down on how to build the terrarium, or maybe it was just magically already built for him. So yeah, you guys can see. We started off entering the terrarium in the Blueberry Academy with Lacey and Serrano, where she explains what the terrarium is with projections of the passage of time and the sky through the dome, how they have a mysterious globe at the top which allows for terrestrialization, but Serrano can't seem to remember what it truly is made out of, which is it's a nice, tantalizing notion into how things may go. So yeah, a bit weird that he is kind of not even in knowledge of how the school he works for or runs actually came to be. It's a bit strange, a bit odd to say the least, but I thought it'd be worthwhile to bring up. So that's one of the posts. Moving on, we have this one right here. This is again Soul, and he's referring to the post made by Ku, where he says, I might be very wrong, but it might just be me, or do these two posts feel related? Ku does like to make posts that have the same answers with just slightly different spin on it. Who's the best in 2024? So 2024 prediction, wow, found the clue. All titles entitled with colors. And then he posted this one, who is the best? A bit weird, a bit strange to say the least. I don't really know what he means by this, but we'll have to wait and see. And you can see right here, Hunter says, well, Red has appeared in all those games titles except Scarlet and Violet, and he's supposed to be the best. So maybe a Red rematch in Scarlet and Violet DLC 2. That'll be cool, but probably not in DLC 2 though. I don't think that's the case personally. I just don't see that happening. But hey, it is what it is. Moving on though, we also have this little headcanon from Soul who says, just a headcanon, but this might even be true. It seems that the events of the Teal Mask happened at least a few months prior to the Indigo disc. The Blueberry Academy Terrarium has existed for years, but I think when Briar explored a crystal pool during the Teal Mask plotline, she then took back her research and invented the giant Terra Crystal Disco Ball / disc at the top of the terrarium that allows everyone to use the terrestrialization in the Blueberry Academy back in Unova. She clearly states one of her goals is coming to Kitakami was to visit and research the crystal pool in order to make Terrastal available in other regions, which, again, interesting. Didn't even consider that. But yeah, just doing a bit of field research. I was interested in properties of the water here. Let's see. You see the crystal pools of water emit energy of the same wavelength as Terrastal energy. Once I figured that out, I might be able to stabilize the Terrastal phenomena in other regions. Wow, that is actually pretty nuts if you think about it. Very strange. But let's move on to the next thing. So we've covered this post shared by Dusty. Shout out to him for sharing this. Of course, we covered that. We've gone through all the posts from Riddler Coup. We've gone through, the different games made by Ilka, if they're going to be the ones involved in the future. We've gone through most of these posts, leaving us only really with a few more things. One is this from Jan, who says, my current guess is this symbol will be the motif that's on the 19th type. That when the user is not a Terapagos or any other Pokemon that has weird Terrastal states, if that is a thing, still baffling to me that Pokemon Company still doesn't want to explain what the heck the 19th type actually is. It's not a real typing, right? It's just a temporary one. So we still don't know what it even is. That's the crazy part. We still do not even know exactly what it is. Next up, though, just a heads up, and this is from Jan. This is a big one. Just a heads up. Usually Pokemon movies, remember, there has been talks about a Pokemon movie being in the works for the longest time now, but apparently Pokemon movies are announced in early December and then aired the following year in July. If there's going to be a Pokemon movie next year, it will likely be announced within 2 weeks, likely on Friday after an anime episode. So let's wait and see if it happens in the next 2 weeks, guys. I mean, we've got some time to go still. But that's that. And then finally, we have this post right here. Guys, I know people are expecting a massive leak for Indigo Disc soon in early December. Please don't. The Teal Mask Dex was majorly an exploit on Ilka's home system. Normally, we shouldn't expect them to make the same mistake they made just 3 months ago. If they actually made the same mistake again and we got a massive Dex from home, that's not good news. That means that this company can't patch their issues in 3 months and is handling confidential Pokemon information. So, I'm gonna be real though. They always leak information. It always leaks out in one way or another. If it doesn't leak through home, it's going to leak some other way. It always happens somehow. That's the crazy part. It always happens somehow. And also, finishing it off, again, we have the references again to, and there's his name. Bloody hell, it's Nate. Why did I call him Herbert? But either way, you got him here, and they're just kind of showing him off with the kind of a new sync pair with him and Haxorus. Just kind of chilling together, I guess. And they're just kind of making a reference here to the fact that he's going to be showing up with this new outfit and whatnot. He's going to be showing up in Pokemon Masters, which again is very strange that they're doing this around this time, when we're all speculating that we're going to get some sort of new Paradox version of Unova in terms of new games next year. But hey, I digress. That's it for today's video, guys. If you have any thoughts, let me know in the comment section down below. And of course, if you guys want to help me out, get to 10,000 subs, leave a subscription down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.